Hey! Alright. Hello, beautiful Facebook world and YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and however you find me. So, I am really excited and enthused and I'm just feeling really good. I made some like really great moves and progress in Alexa, stop. in so many areas, and just feeling really excited. So what I wanted to talk to you about right now, though, and why I have the stuffed animal with me. Been with the stuffed animal. I have shared a lot about how I use stuffed animals and getting creative with my healing work and my practices. And so initially, this stuffed animal took the representation for my abusers, for people that had abused me as a child and a young adult. And then when I went into that and I processed anger and pain and sadness and did a lot of writing, and that's actually what's in this pillowcase bag that's tied up here. I really just let myself let loose with really dark, scary emotions and feelings that I don't want to feel, and I don't like letting out everywhere. And so I created that space with this stuffed animal. And when I first started this journey with this stuffed animal, I was really hurting and really angry, and I was trying to process the parts of me that wanted to die and really listen to the parts of me that wanted to die, that felt like everything was too much and whatever their stories were, whatever they needed. Like, what do you need? Why do you want to die? What do you need? And this process is one of the things that these parts of me needed. They needed to be angry. They needed to have an outlet. They needed to be heard. They needed me to hear them and see them and be with them. And so initially, I didn't want anything to do with this. So I took this pillowcase, I put it over the stuffed animal's head, I tied up the stuffed animal, and I hung it from my bed. I was just like, ugh. And I didn't like any of it. Like, I didn't like how I was treating the stuffed animal. I didn't like the feelings I was feeling. It was just like, ugh, so uncomfortable. But I did it. And so today I was doing a meditation with the Radical Self-Acceptance book. And when in the middle of meditation, I got a vision of, Tara Brock, I think, I always forget the name, was offering basically a reframe. Like, how do we say yes to everything? Like, yes, I'm angry. Yes, I'm depressed. Yes, I was victimized. Yes, whatever, but the frame around it is like, ugh, if we literally took all that and found a yes, and if we took all of that and we put it in a box and we wanted to put a beautiful frame around it, we extend, we expand out and beyond and go into the, like, really lean in to see what, I'm not going to explain it that well. So anyways, what I really saw that I needed for my radical self-acceptance, for my radical acceptance in my journey and these parts of myself, is to take this stuffed animal and dress it up and now put all the energy into, what do I feel like these parts of me took from me? What do I feel like I don't have, or I can't be, or I'm missing because of these things, like the broken story. I'm broken. You know, and it's like, what does Candace look like if either she didn't have these things or she was in full radical acceptance of all this, right? And I was like, I'm gonna dress up the elephant. So I started dressing up my elephant, and it's not done, but this is the me of today and me of right now. Like, if I got dressed and stood in the face of all this, what does that look like? And so I just started gathering clothes, and this fishnet piece felt like sexy and strong and dominant. And like, I'm really feeling like those are the energies that I need to lean into. And even when Yah was here, you know, one of the things he said was like, it feels like your masculine energy, like there's something missing, like your masculine is really asking for you to pay some attention here. For me, it's interesting because I feel like I have so much masculine energy and I'm trying to get to my femme, but now I'm realizing that the masculine, you know, the femme, it's just a whole language. And so this top, it never fit me right, but I love it. It represents it's like that free, it has like a boho hippie vibe and free, but it's also like dark. And then this reminds me of like a burlesque necklace. It's very strong and sexy and powerful, and all things beautiful and wonderful about dark. Sorry. Okay. How do I lost track of what I was saying. But yeah, the judgment, all the judgment and the shame story that I have around these parts of myself. Like, if I just radically accepted and said yes to all these parts of myself, you know, what would I look like? What would I be? How would I be showing up with these parts? Like, these parts aren't gone. They're not going to go anywhere. They're here. And how do I be okay with that, you know? And yeah, so that's what I started. And I had a brain spotting session with Jessica Osterday the other day. And we worked on shame. And so I feel like this is also another, I started my journey with this elephant ritual with Jess in brain spotting, diving into my trauma. And then we had our shame one yesterday, which inspired this transition. And in our session, you know, I at the end, she was checking in and asking, so like, you know, when you feel into the shame body that, you know, you had when we started our session, now, you know, 2 hours later into our session, how does it feel? And it made me think, like, I've always had a saying that I just, like, I carry around my shame like it's a shiny new handbag or something. Like, I call it my shiny, shameful handbag. And so yesterday I was like, I have a new handle on my shiny, shameful handbag. Thank you. Like, the shame, I still, like, it's there. It hasn't gone away. Like, yeah, poof, I'd like it to be gone. But what if I still have it and I just learn how to be with it? And so all the stuff that I wrote here, I am not happy about. This was very hard for me to write, and I have so much shame. And so I literally created a bag and made a new handle. So I have a new handle on all my shit. Like, I'm gonna just hang out with, and, you know, I can handle my shit. I got this. We got this. I'm not doing it on my own. You know, that's just another illusion that I'm alone. It's a big illusion and a big story. But anyways, so yeah. And then I'm really excited to spend more time. It's like kind of scary because as I sit with this, I'm sitting with, like, it's hard not to shame myself, because it's like I really am in deep realization and deep knowing that I'm the only thing in the way of me feeling and being and living all that I feel like I am not, right? And but recognizing I have lots of fears and resistance and judgments of myself, and I don't want to do that. It's another big thing that came up in my session yesterday. Like, I want to be nicer to myself and easier on myself. Like, how do I, be self-responsible and emotionally intelligent and self-aware without beating myself up? I feel like one of my parts is like this relentless taskmaster. Sorry, I think I'm getting some sort of cold or allergies. I don't know. But yeah, I have this like relentless taskmaster that, really great intentions, really just wants me to be the best and do the best that I could do. And almost like giving her a new job, like, hey, I hear you, like, you really want, me to, you believe in me, you believe in us, and you want these things, and I do too, but I also feel like, we already have it. Like, why does why do I have a relentless taskmaster that somehow feels like there's something missing? Like, that's like, to sum this up, I'd say, like, I am learning how to celebrate every part of me in my existence. Like, really breaking through all the stories, what I think is wrong with me or bad about me. This is wrong with me. That is wrong with me. I'm fucked up. I'm, and just saying yes, this is me. It is right to be me. It is okay to be me. I am in my right. I can't fuck it up. I can't do anything wrong, and yeah, just being gentler and softer and easier on myself. And see, that's what leads me to thinking like that I need to work on my femme more and being more in my femme. But there's both sides of it, I feel like there's areas of my femininity and my energy that really need some attention and love and are suffering. And there's areas of my masculinity as well. Yeah. And just to share a little bit more about this, yesterday, I had an amazing conversation with my partner about this. My partner, Shauna, amazing, is very aware of masculine and feminine energy being an energy, as they are non-binary. They're not strictly male or female. And so we were talking about this, and we've been dropping into like, what are the ways that we can relate to one another? Intimately, physically, sexually, emotionally, spiritually, so that we can really support one another, like especially around this. Now, so an area that we were talking about yesterday and we talk about a lot is me being more of the masculine or being more dominant, and them being more of the feminine and more of the submissive energy field, and spending time in that energy space in our sex life and in our intimate life, whether that's a scene or just in our regular connection, because like normally they tend to be more dominant and male, and I can go both ways. And so, but within our relationship, I do tend to go more towards the subby female, because that's where they naturally go. And so, so we're looking to create more balance in our relationship and in our personal lives, in our masculine and feminine energies, and talking about creating tantric, sacred, sexy, kinky containers where we can just, even just spending a few moments in time dropping into energy fields that we don't normally go into, stretching ourselves, creating safe containers to be in really uncomfortable spaces with one another so that we can expand our capacity to be comfortable in really uncomfortable places. And then, like, on an energetic level, like BDSM and DS and role-playing and kink and all this stuff and sexuality is such a healing container. There's so much psychological, emotional, mental health, spiritual healing work we can do in our emotional, physical, or even just sexual relations. Like, maybe you can't go into these containers with your romantic partner, but that's why we have amazing sex workers and sex educators and people to help us create these super nourishing containers. If you don't really know, that's kind of one of the things I do. This is how I learned this, is through, I started out, where I started, I can't go into my whole journey, but basically in my profession, I have had the great opportunity. Okay, sorry. I have had the wonderful opportunity to witness firsthand and create amazing healing containers, pulling together these arts. It's so exciting. I love it. This conversation, all these conversations I've been having, and everything. I'm so excited, so enthused, so inspired. Feels a little bit like anxiety. Well, I have anxiety regularly, but this is like a excited anxiety, and it feels really good. And those were two really awesome phone calls I really want to get to, of really exciting stuff. I just want to go over like a little mini gratitude list. So yesterday I was feeling a little down, and I was like, I don't have my food needs met. What the hell? I was getting low on food, and I have a big trigger and a fear of not having my food needs met because I had lost a lot of weight and didn't know that it was happening. And and I happened to get a client reached out and was like, hey, how are you doing on food? We weren't going to be able to see each other, but they wanted to make sure that my food needs were met. And they brought me all sorts of awesome food yesterday. And I got to share that with my beloved last night, which is awesome. And my friend Roger is coming out for a visit on Sunday, which it's so exciting. And and I'm like, there's just so much amazing things happening. And I'm feeling really happy and excited and enthused.